If you've been following my channel for some time, you know I'm a huge fan of Airtable. Not only can you store information in databases, but it also has internal automation scripts and user-friendly interfaces. But in today's video, we're going to compare Airtable to another platform to see which one is best. We'll compare pricing models, databases, and user interfaces. But the feature I'm most excited about are the database AI agents. I want to thank the team over at Softr for sponsoring today's video. I'm really excited to show you how powerful their platform is. I think by the end of this video, you may be considering switching from Airtable over to Softr. Let's get into it. Okay, so if you're not familiar with Softr, I want to do a quick overview before we get into the comparison. I'm here on their homepage, and as you can see here, it says build custom business apps powered by AI with no code. So just like Airtable, it is a platform that allows you to build applications that don't require any code, but allow you to store data and also present that data in a user-friendly interface. So if we go up in the top navigation and just click on some of their products, you'll see data sources, databases, workflow automation, interface builders, database AI agents, which we'll talk about later, forms, and a whole bunch of other stuff. One of the things I really appreciate about Softr are their pre-built modules. If I click on solutions, you'll see they have a couple of tools already built, like client portals, a CRM, a team intranet, an employee portal, and then you can click on CL solutions, and you'll see all the other types of solutions they already have pre-built. And these are beautiful. They are stunning. They have really put a lot of work into the user interface, to the user experience. And so you can scroll through these and build these and implement these pretty quickly by just connecting them to your existing data or by using their own built-in databases within Softr. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later. So if you click on templates, you can also search for these pre-built solutions by use cases, by industry. You can search for it by looking over here on the right by these little thumbnails. Let's say, for example, I wanted to build a client onboarding portal. I could just click on it, and it gives me some beautiful screenshots of this client portal. You can scroll through it. And by the way, all of this is fully customizable. If you don't like the green, you can change those colors. You can change this layout. It's very powerful and very flexible. And all you have to do is just connect it to your existing data. So let's talk a little bit about pricing. One of the things that frustrates me with Airtable is they charge per seat or per license. So for example, I was recently working with a client in Airtable, and they had paid for the team plan, but then they wanted to have another employee be able to log in and interact with the data, and that required them paying for another seat, another license. And they were paying hundreds of dollars for that new employee to have access to the data. And so you'll see here in this comparison chart, Airtable charges $20 to $45 per user, even for basic internal collaboration. So again, you're paying per seat per license. But the great thing about Softr is they use a tiered pricing model that is based on records and app user limits, not per seat. So if we go over to their actual pricing page, you'll see here if you go to softr.io/pricing, you'll see here on the free plan, you get 10 app users. 10 app users on the free plan, which is amazing. Let's talk about user groups for a minute. That's something that Softr has that Airtable does not. And I think it's a really important feature that we need to discuss. So under the free plan, you get 2 user groups, logged in users and non-logged in users. And that's huge because now you have the ability to recognize that someone's status, right? And you can determine what information you want to show that person based upon that status. So for example, if you're logged in, you can see sensitive information in, say, for example, a client portal. But if you're not logged in, you can't see sensitive information. And so having the ability to distinguish who you are, what user group you're in, allows you to control the data that that person can see. For example, if you had a client portal, you could detect whether A, the client is logged in, and B, if the person that logged in is a client. If they're a client, you want to show them their projects. You want to show them their invoices or their tasks. They're specific to that client. And if they're an admin, they have the ability to see everybody's information. And so that's a great feature that Softr has that Airtable does not have. Okay, so here I am in my dashboard in Softr. On the left-hand side, we have apps, databases, and data sources. So we're going to go through each one of these and explain what they mean, starting with apps. So to create a new application, you have several options. You can start from scratch. And the first thing you want to do here is choose your data source. Your data source could be a Softr data source. The first thing you want to do is choose your data source. Now that could be a Softr database. That could be an Airtable database. It could be Google Sheets. It could be Notion. It could be a CRM. But whatever you choose, the first thing you do is choose your data source. And then from there on, you can build out your application. You can also choose from 90 pre-built templates. And we talked about this a little bit earlier. From here, you can search for a certain type of template you're looking for, or you can use this navigation bar here at the top to quickly go through all their options. Let's say, for example, I wanted to build a venture capital website. You click on it. You have the option on the right-hand side here to kind of scroll through the pages and then click on Create Application. You also have the ability to just click on Create New App. And then from here, again, you get the same options you get up here at the top. And here on the bottom, you would see all your previously built applications. Okay, moving on to databases. Again, we have a kind of similar setup here. We have 3 buttons at the top. You can start from scratch. So there's a brand new database ready to go. You can fill this out and you're off for the races. Or you can start with a template. So just like the applications, you have options with the database to choose templates. For example, let's say I wanted to use this project management template. Now I know what this database looks like. I click on Use Template, and it's going to automatically create the tables and a bunch of dummy data for me, which is very, very nice. It's already color-coded. It's already linked up through linked records, lookup records. It's already done for me. All I have to do is just update the tables, update the data, and I'm ready to go. Lastly, if you have data in another location, you can click on Import Data, and you can import it from a CSV file, from Airtable, and eventually you can also import it from Google Sheets. Lastly, you can click on the Create New Database button, and all it does is create a new empty database. Finally, here at the bottom, you'll see all my previously built databases. Okay, lastly, on the left-hand side, we'll click on Data Sources. So these are your data sources. You'll see I already have one connection to Airtable, and I have another one to a Softr database. So if I click on Connect Data Source, again, you see I have various options for where I want to store my data from and pull it in from my applications. I even have an option here for a SQL database, which is pretty cool. Okay, so that is the dashboard for Softr. Now let's hop over to the dashboard for Airtable. So in Airtable, everything starts with a workspace. You'll see I have a personal workspace here. I also have a workspace titled Work here, which is under the team plan. And inside of that workspace, I have multiple bases or databases. I have the option here to create a workspace or to create a new database. So I don't want to create a new workspace, but I do want to create a new database. So all I have to do is click on the Create button. And I have the option here to allow their internal AI tool called Omni to help me build an AI or to help me build a database, or I can choose to build one on my own. So for example, if I click on the one on the right, Okay, so it created a new database for me. In the top left-hand corner, you'll see the title of the database. It created one table called Table 1, and it went ahead and created some dummy columns for me: name, notes, assignee, status, attachment. These are all dummy data, and you can change this at any time. Okay, now that we looked at the pricing, we looked at the dashboard area of both Softr and Airtable, let's actually start to build something. And we're going to do that with their new AI features. So here on the screen, you'll see we're going to set up a demo scenario. Let's pretend we're a marketing agency, and we want to collect transcripts from all our Zoom calls between myself, Jonathan, and a client. Let's assume there's already an automation that dumps them into our database. So we're not going to build that. We're just going to assume the automation is already working, and there'll be a row in our database that already has a transcript already in there, and I'll show that to you in a second. And then there's several actions that we want to perform on that transcript. The first thing we want to do is we want to summarize the transcript. Then we want to categorize it, and the three categories are sales, support, and internal training. Then we want to write an email using the summary that we had earlier. We want to find the date of the transcript. We want to translate to Spanish. We want to access the web and do some research. And finally, we want to extract the number of questions made by the client. And then we're going to do this in both Softr and Airtable so you can see the different options you have in the different platforms. So we'll hop back over to Softr. I have a demo database here. And you'll see the database is called YouTube Demo. I have one table called Transcripts. And right now I have 3 columns. The first column is called Client. The name of the client who I'm talking to is Mr. Wolf. And I have the transcript. So if I click on this button here, I double click. Let me just pull this out so you can see it. So it's basically, I just had ChatGPT create this transcript for me. It's not a real transcript, but you'll see it's between me and Mr. Wolf. It is a sales transcript, and we have some metadata here. We have the date of the transcript, and it's not real. I just made this up in ChatGPT, but we're going to use this for our demo purposes. So let's go back to Softr and see how we would accomplish these tasks. So the first thing we say we would do is just summarize it. So how will we do that with these new database agents? So the first thing we're going to do is add a new field. And you'll see we have this option here called AI Agent. So that's what we're going to click on. So we'll call it, the name of the field will be Summarize Transcript. And so we have a bunch of different options here. And obviously we want to let AI autofill this field. And you have an option here also to allow manual edits. I highly recommend you turn this on because this allows you to have human in the loop interaction with your data. You don't always want to trust AI 100% all the time. There may be things that you want to edit later, so I suggest you turn this on. And now we have options of different types of LLMs that we can choose from. And the cool thing about Softr is they've gone ahead and allowed you to connect to some of the most popular LLMs on the market, like ChatGPT and Claude. And on the right-hand side, you can see the cost of using each model. So for example, ChatGPT 5 is going to use, it's a high cost because it's their newest model and it's great for complex tasks. But for example, if you want to go down to Claude Sonnet 4.5, it's low cost and it says it's best for complex reasoning and long, thoughtful answers. And so it's nice that it has these little descriptions here beneath each version, so you can know which one you want to pick, and you can actually try different models over time and see which one works best. For our demo purposes, we're going to choose something low cost. like Claude Haiku 3.5, best for quick summaries, tags, and short replies. Boom. Okay, the next thing we have is our prompt. Now we can write the prompt from scratch, but we also have the option to use a template. And you'll see in the template, we have options like summarize text, categorize text, write, extract, and translate. So remember, we want to summarize the transcript, so we'll choose summarize text. And so I went ahead and wrote a short prompt for me. So it says summarize the content of field into no more than 2 sentences. So we need to replace this with field with what? With the transcript column. That's right. So let's click out of that. We'll put our cursor right here. And we can do a couple different things. One, we can do type in an @ symbol on our keyboard. And you'll see that we get this little search bar. And we can choose transcript, just like that. Or we can click on this @ symbol here in the bottom right hand corner and choose transcript, just like we did before. So now the prompt is summarize the content of the whatever's in the transcript column into no more than 2 sentences. And then we can change that to, say, 3 sentences. Okay? And then at the bottom, we have a couple different options. We can say run when. We can run when the trigger, when triggered manually. And that's already on by default. You can also have this run when a new record is created, or have it run when any existing record is updated. And you can choose which field those actions act upon, right? So, for example, if the transcript field is updated, then we want this automation to run because we want it to summarize the new transcript, right? So we'll say run when existing record is updated, and we'll do the transcript column. We also have the option for filters. For example, we can say add a condition and say if transcript is not empty, then this needs to run. If transcript is not empty, it means there is a transcript, that it does exist, then we want this to run. And lastly, we can choose this preview and say we want to see a preview of what this looks like. So it says select a record to generate a preview. So we'll just pick Wolf Motors. We'll click run. There we go. So now AI has already summarized the transcript into 3 sentences. So there's sentence 1, sentence 2, and sentence 3. Cool. And we used 8 credits to generate that summary. So we can hit save. Boom. There we go. So now that we have the new column set up, what's really cool about Softr is you can click this little button here and you can run it manually. So all you have to do is click on Fill with AI, and now you see that the little circle is running, which means the AI is running, and boom, it's done. So I double click, expand it, there it is. We can see the summarization of the transcript, and awesome, that's great. All right, so that one's done. So summarizing the transcript is done. So what's next? Next, we want to categorize the transcript. All right. So how do we do that? Click a new field. Click AI agent. We'll make this long text. We'll call it transcript category, and we will again choose Claude Haiku 3.5. We'll choose template, and we'll categorize the text. So we want to categorize the content of what? We want to categorize the content of the transcript into one of the predefined options in the current field. So since we have predefined options, we want to change this from long text to a select, right? So the select is going to allow us to choose different options. We'll go to settings. We'll click sales. And what do we say in our briefing? Support. Or internal training. Okay, so we're going to tell it to pick one of the predefined options in the current field. So it has to figure out which category this transcript is. Is it a sales transcript? Is it support or internal training? So let's go ahead and test it out. I already told you before that it is a sales transcript. So let's see. Let's do a preview and see how it works. We'll hit run. And we see we get back sales. Cool. So now it's working. Hit save, and we can hit fill with AI. There it goes. Perfect. Okay, what's the next one? Write an email using the summary. Okay, so this might be good because you want to, whenever a new record is added to your database, you might want to summarize the transcript and then email that to the client. So how do we do that? Click on Add Field, go to AI Agent. We'll do long text again. We'll call it Transcript Email. And we'll choose a template called Write. And so you'll see what it's done is it's kind of giving us this like a template prompt, but we need to do some work on it, right? So write a content type about topic. Okay, so we want to say write an email about the transcript summary located in the, let's see, we could do located in the summarization. Want the tone to be professional but friendly. Want the email to be like 100 words, and always end the email with thank you, Jonathan. Okay, so write an email about the transcript summary located in the summarized transcript column, and let's see what we get back. Let's kind of run it, and let's see what we get back. There we go. Hello team. I want to share a brief summary of our recent discussion regarding AI automation at Wolf Motors. And then it goes through and provides a nice little summary of everything we talked about. Perfect. Great. And we can click fill with AI again and go ahead and let that fill the column. While that's running, let's go to our next one. Find the date of the transcript. So this is going to be a fun one because we're actually going to use something besides text. We're actually going to use a date column. So click on Add Field, AI Agent. The field type is going to be a date. And we need to give it a prompt. Find the date of the transcript. Let's see if it works. Remember, it should be October 1st, 2025. We'll run it. Perfect. 10/1/25, save, let it run. Perfect. All right, what's next? Okay, translate to Spanish. All right, cool. How do we do that? Click on Add Field, choose AI Agent. Long text is fine. We'll choose Claude Haiku, template, translate the content of, let's do a summary. We don't need the whole thing. To Spanish. There we go. Pretty cool, huh? All you have to do is just type it in. So let's see if we pick it from the bottom and hit run. It should work. And that looks like Spanish to me. Wolf Motors está explorando la automatización con la para. Okay, I'll stop there. You see that it works pretty good. And we'll let it run. What's next? Access the web and do some research. Okay, let's say that we have this transcript. It's a sales call, but we need some tips on how to sell. We need some tips on how to how to do a sales pitch. Maybe we need some feedback. So let's see how we can do that by searching the web for some help. So click Add Field, AI Agent. We'll choose Claude Haiku 3.5 template. And this time we're going to, okay, so I'm going to say search the web for tips on how to properly write a summary email in regards to a video call transcript. So maybe you want some tips on how to write the email, right? Remember that we did earlier, the transcript email? Maybe you want some tips on how to write a good professional email. So we're going to ask for tips from that. We're going to tell it to reference the summarized transcript column for the data. But then right here, we want to choose Allow Web Search. Allow AI to browse internet for the latest information when needed. We'll click on that. All we gotta do is click that little toggle button, and that's it. So let's hit Save. I need to rename it. We'll call it Web-Based Tips. Hit Save. Let's run it. So right now, that column is going out to the internet and doing some research. And it's going to come back and give us some information. Let's see what type of response it gives us. Summary email guidelines, express gratitude for the meeting, highlight the key discussion points, outline Jonathan's 3-phase pilot. There we go. So clarify next steps, invite questions, and follow-up discussion. That's pretty good. All right, so we went out to the web, try to find some best practices on how to write a follow-up email. Pretty cool. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do is show you a different type of field. Let's do a number field this time. And we want to extract the number of questions made by the client. So how do we do that? So AI agent, number field. We'll use this one. Okay, we want to say extract the total number of questions asked by the client in the transcript. There we go. That's it. Let's just try that. Now we need to change it to number of client questions. Say we'll run it and see what it gives us. AI was not able to fill the field. Please check the settings of the field. But it came back with 15. Okay, great. So if we go back to the transcript, I didn't actually go through and count them all to make sure it was 15, but yeah, let's go with that. 15 questions by the client. Not super relevant or important, but I just want to show the ability to use a different type of field rather than just a text-based field. Okay, so that is that's the AI features, the database AI agents available in the Softr database. Pretty cool, right? Like you didn't have to go out to didn't have to go out to NAN. And now anytime a new record is added to this database, it's going to go through and summarize a transcript. It's going to categorize it. It's going to write you an email. It's going to extract the date. It's going to give you, it's going to convert it to Spanish for you or any other language. It's going to give you some tips on how to write a good email. It's going to extract the number of questions the client asks. So all that's going to be done for you automatically, right? How cool is that? Okay, now that we've gone through all the AI features of Softr, now let's go through the AI features of Airtable, and that way you can compare and contrast the different features to see which one you like best. So here in Airtable, I have my YouTube demo database. I have the same transcripts table. I have the same client name and transcript. And now let's go through each one of these and show you how to do it in Airtable. I think through this process, you're going to see, like, you probably start to drift towards one or the other to see which one you prefer to use, which one is more user-friendly, which one is more intuitive, and which one gets better results. So the first thing we want to do again is we want to summarize the transcript. So how do we do that in Airtable? So first thing we're going to do is click this plus button. And right here at the top, you see we have field agents. So these are all the AI powered features. So we can analyze an attachment, find image from the web, categorize assets, build a field agent, research companies, generate image, generate content, or browse catalog. So which one of these would you use to summarize a transcript? Probably going to use something like now remember, in Softr we had a template for that, but here we don't have one, so we'll have to choose build a field agent. And this is just like a basic agent that is not involved with any specific template. So we'll call it transcript summary. We don't need to enable internet search. We don't need to connect to Google Drive, OneDrive. We don't want it to run automatically. And again, just like Softr, you have the option to choose from a couple different LLMs. Again, they have ChatGPT and Claude. They also have Meta and Gemini. So a couple more options as far as LLMs compared to Softr. So again, we'll just choose 3.5 Haiku just to keep it the same as we did with Softr. And here, we don't really have any template, so we just need to basically type it out ourselves. But as you see with instructions, anytime you want to reference a table or reference another column in the table, you have to do it with these curly braces, like company name. And you can also use this insert field button here, so we'll do transcript. So the instructions will be summarize the blank column into 3 bullet points. And you have the ability to click on generate to generate a preview just like you did over in Softr. So now we'll just wait and see what it comes back with. Okay, so the preview is the date, Wednesday, and the conversation summary. Jonathan and Mr. Wolf discusses AI automation strategy for Wolf Motors, focusing on improving lead response, missed call handling, and service scheduling through targeted messaging and system integrations. Okay, so you can click on create field. Okay, so the column has been created, and it automatically populated the column for me. And you'll see down here that it didn't use any credits, which is nice. Okay, back over in our brief, we see the next thing we want to do is categorize it in these 3 categories. So how do we do that? Click on the plus. Here, categorize assets. Let's try this one. All right, so transcript category. And you'll see it's a single select, which is great. We want to use Claude 0.5. Categorize the following text in one of the defined categories below. Only return a single option. Okay, so we want to categorize the what? We want to categorize the transcript into one of the defined categories below. Only return a single option. It doesn't really give the ability to choose. We have to give it the options. Okay. So let's do it like this. Option 1 is sales. Option 2 was, what was it? Support. Option 3 is internal training. Can't type. I think that's going to work. Let's see. Let's do a preview and see what it does. Oh, here it is. Here's the color code options. Sorry. So sales. I didn't see that. Support. And internal training. And we'll get rid of it here. There we go. And so if we generate, it should say sales. There we go. Create field. And as soon as I create the field, it's automatically doing all the work for me. Perfect. What's next? Write an email. Okay. So click on the plus button. We want to generate content. We'll do email summary. No. Let's do this one. Claude 3.5. So what we're going to do is go over to, let's just grab the same thing we did here in Softr and just bring it over to save some time, right? Write an email about the transcript summary located in the transcript summary. Here we go. Tone, professional but friendly. Length 100 words. Always in the email with thank you, Jonathan Richey. Let's see. Always. We'll do always address Bob at the beginning of the email. We'll see how it handles that. All right, let's test it out. Okay, cool. It gave me a subject and it said, "Hi, Bob. I wanted to share key insights from our October 1st meeting with Mr. Wolf regarding AI automation strategies for Wolf Motors." And it goes through and the rest of the email and then ends it with thank you, Jonathan. Perfect. So create field. Great. That was easy. What's next? Find the date of the transcript. Okay, remember in our transcript we have a date at the beginning. So how would we do that? I don't see a template for it, so let's just build a field agent and we'll call it transcript date. In our dropdown, we'll choose I don't see. Interesting. It doesn't give me a date option. What? That's weird. Why do you know I have a date option? Single select. Interesting. But we have a date here. That's interesting. So it looks like browse catalog. What does that do? Oh. Interesting. So if I click, oh wait, here we go. So it looks like I don't have the ability to actually build a field agent and choose date as an option. See that? There's no date option. So I'm actually unable to do that in Airtable. I can't set a date. I could do text. Let's just try it. Transcript. But it's not an actual date field, right? So that's interesting. So let's go to haiku. So find the date of the transcript. That's just to see your preview at least one field. Yeah. Found in transcript. Okay. And actually, automatically did it for me. So we can still do it. We did it as a text column, but it's not an actual date column. So that was interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Now translate to Spanish. How can we do that in Airtable? So there is not a translate template, so we'll have to choose. Again, build a field agent. We'll do transcript in Spanish, and we will tell it to translate. Actually, we'll do the summary. Translate the summary found in from English Spanish. And we'll click generate, see what it does. And there we go. There's the fecha's date. The day is miércoles, which is Wednesday. And then a whole bunch of Spanish. Great. That's awesome. That worked. What's next? Access the web and do some research. How do we do that? There is, so they have find image from web. They have a research option, but we don't have the option to, we actually don't have the option to search the web. I take that back. It's right there. What did we call it before? It was writing tips, right? Web-based tips. Web-based tips. That's right. We're going to use the... Let's just use the same prompt. Save some time. All right, so... And we want to reference the summarized transcript column for the data. And we want to, here's how you do it. Enable internet search. That's right. We'll go back to Haiku and let's just generate it and see what happens. I'm not quite sure, like, based on the search results, here are key tips for writing a summary email for the video call transcript. So I don't really know, like, there's no references here. It's not saying it pulled it from this website or this source. So I don't know what websites or how I got this data. So that's interesting, but it did go out to the web and provide some tips. So that does check the box. We are able to do that. And lastly, extract the number of questions made by the client. How would we do that? Let's see here. So we'll do a agent. We'll do number, num questions by client. How many questions did the client ask in transcript? And we'll just we won't do decimal. We'll do 0. We won't do thousands, and we'll create the field, let it run. And over here it said it was a 15, right? 15 questions. And that got 8. Interesting. So over here we got 15, and here we got 8. So there we go. There are a couple of other things that Airtable has, like analyze attachment, find image from web, that generate image research companies that we did not see in Softr. So they both have pros and cons to their database AI agents. And the really cool thing, though, again, is like you can do this all within Airtable or within Softr right there within the data layer, not having to go out to an automation platform, all right there in the data. As soon as a new record is created, it can perform all these actions right away. And that's amazing. That's really cool. So I hope you enjoy this comparison between Softr and Airtable, two powerful platforms. But it's up to you to choose the one that fits you best. What is the one that has the best workflow, the best pricing, the best user interface? Like, what is the one that you like the best? So leave a comment down below and let me know which one you prefer. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.